remember that for a directory in Unix or in POSIX permissions, if you don't give them execute and only read, they won't be able to browse or enter the directory. So read-only is really the combination of read and execute, or 5. Very common permission setting. Same thing for readext4. I didn't chmod it, but notice that the permissions by the umask, by what was removed, are basically 755 because my umask is 0022. So the only one I really have to modify or change to match up with Samba and my config file is this one. And I'm going to do sudo chmod, and I'm going to give full writable access. Again, the rule you should follow is you lock down everything on a server and you slowly loosen things up bit by bit until you get the bare minimum of services you want. It's more secure to do it that way. But since this is sort of a lab and we're just basically learning how to set up Samba, let's make it as easy on ourselves as possible, and we'll just take the opposite approach, the least secure. We'll start out with the least amount of security, and then we'll tighten it down as we go. So if I do that, let me list the permissions. And now notice that, okay, read, write, execute here, and it matches up here in Samba. Okay, and I just want to, that was for the purpose of example, but also we were looking at our fs tab file. So in previous tutorials we were looking at fs tab, and let's open that. And remember how we had all of these, this is a multi-boot system, so it has Windows 7, and it's also running a 64-bit version of Ubuntu, a Maverick Meerkat. And we chose to mount those directories here. We went inside media and we made these directories, data 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got the UUID, universally unique identifier, and we mounted it with NTFS3G so it would be writable and use the defaults. So all of those drives are mounted automatically every time you boot the system, or if you were to type the command sudo space mount space -a, and they're all right here. So there's a 500 gig drive, a 300 gig drive, a 300 gig, and 185 gig, and they're all mounted there, on the server. So what I want to do is share out individual folders on these NTFS drives. And so what I'm going to do is just go into media, where they are. And there's data 1, data 2, data 3, and data 4. And I'm going to first off look at data 1 and see what I want to share. And I'm going to share downloads and make it writable. So I'll just call it all caps downloads, and downloads on Pegasus, and not really a very secure folder. Now this, it's case sensitive, so actually I want to make that lowercase there. Doesn't matter what I call the share name, that can be different, but this has to be exactly the same. So lowercase downloads capital D, lowercase downloads capital D. I have to, let me see if I can drag this over. I want to match that up there. Okay, and I'm going to choose to enable write access, so I'm going to leave all of these the same. Now the path is going to be different. If I print my working directory, let me go into downloads here. If I print the working directory, notice the path. Media, data 1, and these folders are on my local file system, but once the NTFS partition is mounted, this is actually on the NTFS partition, but the whole path, the absolute path, via print working directory is going to be that. And an easy way to do that, if you just copy and paste, you'll be sure to have the complete path. But that's very important. You want to match that up exactly. And let's go Let's go here, that's one NTFS, and I'm going to recurse up 2 directories, and let's go to data 2 and see what's there. That'll be read only. Now let's pick something read only. So let me go to data 3, and let's see what's over here. Conspiracy theories and all kinds of stuff. And let's see what's here. Like mobile. I'm going to go to data 1. And let's see, I'm going to share out this directory here, movies. So where I've taken all the recordings of my DVR and put them in that folder, cartoons for my kids and old movies and stuff. So it'd be nice to make that available on the network for anybody in the family who wants it. I'm going to, again, I want to keep or copy pretty much the same syntax. Oh, and I didn't change the we'll just add a comment tag. Downloads on NTFS partition on Pegasus. There. Okay, so again, if I were to go into that folder, I need to match the case exactly. So if I were to get the path and print the working directory, I could just copy and paste it. But you know, it's very important that I match that path exactly. And movies on Pegasus, and I'm just going to call this, I don't know why I'm going for the Commodore 64 Amiga syntax, all caps there. Movies on Pegasus, and again, notice my path has to match exactly what the path is when I do a print working directory, or it's not going to be able to find it. Now, I have stuff that's taken me years to collect off the DVR, and you know, Twilight Zone marathons and Forbidden Planet and The Day the Earth Stood Still and all. So I want to make sure that that is read only. I don't want people inadvertently, you know, my children or somebody else inadvertently deleting, you know, files that I cannot replace. And so again, I want to lock that down, and so I'm going to say read only yes, and I'm going to give it a mask. That'll just kind of make that a read only. And then the last one, just to show you an authenticated folder. We'll keep that as our NTFS example. And I'll put on NTFS partition on Pegasus movies downloads. Okay. Just to do one more, we're going to do one called secrets, and this will show you what will happen if I set you know, guess to okay to no. And secrets, and this will be an authenticated folder on Pegasus. It will require a password to log in. I'm just going to call it secrets at the root level, and I'm not going to allow write access, but also I'm not going to allow guests. Alright, so you will have to enter a password and user account to get in here. Okay. So I'm going to save my configuration file, and I've made all my directories. Oh, let's not forget secret. Easy to make a mistake. You have to kind of, it's very step by step, but remember I created it here, but I still have to create the directory, don't I? So sudo mkdir, and let me match the path exactly.